Hi everybody, my name is Alan, and on behalf of this talented and numerous crew we have tonight, I'd like to welcome you to another season and another edition of Bridging Heaven and Earth. We're tremendously excited about starting. This is our 4th season, and we're really excited to be here with you. And as you could see from the opening, and as I guess you can see now, we've been going through some changes on the show. Estancia, it worked out, is no longer going to be the co-host of the show, so I'm going to be doing it alone. So you're going to have twice as much of me, or if not more. But we hope to bring you the same quality and the same love, and we certainly wish Estancia the best, and we're sure we'll miss her grace and beauty on the show. Actually, when we first started, we thought we'd try to consider whether we wanted to keep doing the show, and we had a staff meeting and everybody got together. And we decided that the guests and the energy and the love that this show generates between the crew, between the guests of the show, and between all the calls that we're getting from all over the country about how much people are inspired and helped, and just joy is brought into their lives by the show. So we decided that we'd go on, and we go on without Estancia, so we have an incredible 13 weeks planned for you today. Over the next 26 weeks, it should be extraordinary. And then we talked about at this meeting what we thought the show was about and what we wanted to bring into these 13 shows. And if you've watched the show before, if you watched the opening tonight, one of the main themes of the show is dedicated to the oneness. It's dedicated to the love that is not dependent. It's not dependent on whether your boyfriend loves you, your girlfriend loves you, whether you're rich, whether you're poor. It's dependent on the fact that you're alive, that you're a human being, and that's what you're created of. That love is what you're created of. And that is what we want to bring forth on this show, and we want to bring it forth in dance, in music. As a matter of fact, the music you're hearing now is a piece an improvisational piece by one of our guests tonight, Stephanie Bennett, who's an inspirational harpist and a composer. And she'll be playing a lot of songs for you tonight. And we're going to be with you with dancers and singers and authors. And we have tremendous numbers of guests and artists with us to bring you that love and that dedication. So join with me in this season, and we're trying our best to bring you that dedication to the oneness and that love that we hope to feel during doing the show, and that we hope you feel as we do it. So one of our guests is also Mary Barton, who's going to be playing with Stephanie. She's an incredible violinist and also a composer. She has albums out. And so we're expecting a truly miraculous show in terms of joy, in terms of love, and in terms of inspiration. So as we used to do at this time, we would have Estancia lead us in a vacation, but with the new format, I will try to lead you in a meditation. And now we will go into that. If you have any questions about meditation or anything, just try to go to the quietest place you can. Just concentrate your mind, follow your breath if you have to, and join me in a short meditation, and then we'll go to an incredible show. So thank you, and join me, please. Thank you. So now we're going to have Stephanie Bennett playing 2 songs, then Mary is going to join her, and it should be an incredible show. So thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoy tonight's show.
was an improvisation based on an idea that I call the water planet, dedicated to, well, I guess you can tell that I use music to try to express and share my reverence for the natural world and our beautiful planet. And among the most amazing things on our planet are the animals. And my next composition that I'm going to play is dedicated to some of the furry creatures that share our homes and our lives. I call this a big cat hug.
That was pretty amazing. I really love that instrument. I mean, people who've watched the show know that we've had just other harpists on, and just the sound of that instrument just really does something to me. I'm just so excited when we can be fortunate enough to get a harpist who can play like Stephanie. It's really fantastic. So one other thing I wanted to mention was that when we were talking, the crew and the staff and I about, doing this next season, what we really felt we wanted was that anyone could watch this show and anybody could feel the love and feel inspired by it, because that's what we're trying to do, and we don't want to make things that are mystical or ununderstandable to anyone, because we are all brothers and sisters here. We are all just part of that whole, part of that oneness. And so for all of you, please feel that if there's something on this show that maybe you don't understand, or that is troubling, or you have a question about, call anytime. We want to talk to you. We just want to be open to everything that exists out there, and we want to bridge heaven and earth. We want that experience not to be exclusive, because it isn't exclusive. We have to come together. It's the time of humans, it's the time of this earth to come together and bring that love to all. And so I guess Stephanie and Mary are going to be starting to play together, and whenever they're ready, just take it away, and you're in for an incredible experience. As I said for one of our shows last time, if you have headphones you can plug them in, cool out, lean back, and enjoy this. It's going to be incredible. Mary, Stephanie?
I grew up mostly in Michigan, which has beautiful winters. And when I was in high school, I used to get up at dawn in order to be able to practice for an hour or two before school. And the sight of seeing the dawn come up over a quiet, white, pristine landscape that just been snowed on was quite amazing. And it was from those memories that I wrote this piece that's called Michigan Winter. 19th century writer, to whom nature was also very important, was Henry David Thoreau. Do you want to put your violin down and get the book? And we're going to perform an essay of his that we call October is the Month for Painted Leaves.
October is the month for painted leaves. Their rich glow now flashes round the world. As fruits and leaves of the day itself acquire a bright tint just before they fall, so does the year near its setting. October is its sunset sky, November the later twilight. How beautiful when a whole tree is like a great scarlet fruit of ripe juices. Every leaf, from the lowest limb to the topmost spire, all aglow. Especially if you look toward the sun. And what more remarkable object can there be on the landscape? Visible for miles, too fair to be believed. I am thrilled at the sight of it. And I go half-mile out of my way to examine it. A single tree becomes thus the crowning beauty of some meadowy vale, and the expression of the whole surrounding forest is at once more spirited for it. For beautiful variety, no crop can be compared with this. Here is not merely the plain yellow of the grains, but nearly all the colors that we know. And the early blushing maple, the poison sumac blazing scarlet, the mulberry ash, the rich chrome yellow of the poplars, the brilliant red huckleberry, and the frost touches them, and with the slightest breath of returning day, see in what showers they come floating down. The ground is all party-colored with them. Already these brilliant trees throughout the street are at least equal to an annual festival or holiday. These are cheap and innocent gala days, celebrated by one and all without the aid of committees or marshals. Every tree is a living liberty pole on which 1,000 bright flags are waving. No wonder that we must have our annual festivals. Nature herself holds her own annual fair in October, not only in the streets, but in every hollow and on every hillside. When lately we looked into the red maple swamp all ablaze, where the trees were clothed in their most dazzling tints, did it not suggest 1,000 gypsies beneath, a race capable of wild delight, or even the fabled fauns, satyrs, and wood nymphs come back to earth? No celebration with its scarves and banners could impart into the town 100th part of the annual splendor of our October. Nature will find the colored drapery, flags of all her nations. while we walk under the triumphal arches of elms. Behold what a brilliant drapery is her woodbine flag. Let us have a good many maples and hickories of scarlet, and then I say, blaze away. The next song we're going to do is it's an old folk song. It was a Scottish song, and then I guess the Irish stole them from the Scots. But it's a song that's entitled Red as the Rose, and it's a lovely, lovely, lovely love tune. I'd like to do for you now.
for the grief of my mother.
but it's all for the loss of my bonny Irish lad, that my heart is breaking forever. Red is the rose by yonder garden grows, and fair is the lily of the valley. Clear is the water that flows from the bourne, but my love is fairer than any.
Well, let's see, we've covered winter so far and autumn. Let's do the piece you wrote that's based on spring.
And this is a song entitled Lilac Song, and it reminds me of the lilac bushes when I was a child growing up and smelling the lilac in the springtime. It's a wonderful smell and a wonderful memory for me.
It's my favorite flower, too.
love the sound of those instruments. They're just so high. So when we knew we were going to do this third season, we decided to do a 30-second promo tape that, actually there are two. You'll see one coming right up, and then one you'll see a little later. But we did one for the Santa Barbara area where we're shot live, and it's, you know, every other Friday at starting today, May 2nd. So we made this tape and we wanted you to see it because we're really proud of it and we really think it's beautiful and we really think it carries the message in 30 seconds that we wanted to bring across. So whenever you're ready, just run the tape and, you know, I hope you guys like it. So, Greg? Yeah, so I hope you guys like that one because, well, you'll see the other one. That one's going to be going all over the country. As I think if you've watched the show before, you know that the show is on in probably 25 or 30 other cities, and it's going to more and more. We're hoping to get it on in England and in Hawaii. I guess that's part of the United States now. But so let me introduce, I mean, you've heard them play, and now you have them with us. Stephanie and Mary are with us on the set. Or with me on the set now. So hi, girls.
Hi.
So you girls have both been playing for a long time. I saw your bios.
Yeah.
So, like, how did you get into your instruments? How did it happen for you? Mary, why don't you start?
Well, my mother wanted me to play violin.
Really?
And
well, my parents wanted me to play the piano. I played as long as it took them to buy me a piano, and then I stopped.
Oh.
They still bring it up. But I guess you went further than I did.
Yeah, they kept pushing me and paying for lessons, and you know, I think if you just keep playing, even if you're not practicing 3 hours a day.
When did you begin to love it? When did it really begin to touch you?
I think when I got a little older, like say around junior high, high school, got to sounding better, and when you sound better and you're playing things you like, that gives you a lot back, I think.
So when you're playing, do you feel like almost somebody's playing through you? Because we've had a lot of musicians here, and you know, a lot of them say that, especially when they're composing, it's almost like there's just like some other force, like just they're almost out of the way, and this incredible music's coming through them. Do you have that experience at all?
Yeah, I really do. I feel like I'm doing it, but there's something much greater than me going through me, because the emotions that you put out when you're playing music are very powerful, and they have a great ability to move people. And that's what I love about music. It just brings everyone, you know, together.
Yeah, it's universal.
Totally.
I mean, you know, it doesn't matter what religion you are, what race you are, what, you know, I mean, that's what, you know, we're feeling so much that it's really a time for us all to come together and find those common places, rather than, we could always find places, you know, you're wearing, you know, one color in your hair, and you know, Steph's wearing pink, and that's a reason to fight.
We're different.
Right, right. So, I mean, what is your experience with your instrument?
Well, I had played a little guitar and a little piano as a child, and I'd always been very drawn to music. Music always moved me very much. And as far as the harp, I did a report on it for my 8th grade general music class.
kidding.
Yeah, I picked it out of a poster on the wall. It looked neat, so I did a report on it. That got me interested enough that I went home and said, "Mom, I want harp lessons."
Really?
They said, "Great."
Did you go immediately to the big harp? You know, what do they call
No.
that harp? That's
The full-sized harp is a pedal harp, or a concert grand pedal harp. And no, I started learning on the smaller type of harp for about 2 years. We rented one until my parents could tell I was really sticking with it and really taking to it.
Yeah,
and they
I
bought me my
fooled my
first pedal
parents.
harp.
I think they probably still have the piano somewhere. You know? It's like, you're going to learn how to play one of these. Hasn't come around.
You might as well take it up
might as
now.
well.
I have adult beginner
Actually, I told the
students,
story
yeah.
before. It's interesting, but at one point, I actually wanted to play the guitar and be like Bob Dylan and all that. And every time I'd play, I'd get nauseous.
Really?
So I mean, it was an indication that this wasn't for me.
I guess
right, you know, it was really incredible. So when did you guys start playing together?
Just several months ago, we started working on. We're each working on a new CD, and on Mary's CD, which is mostly Mary's composition, I'm playing a lot of harp on it.
So how did
That's when
you
we-
come to know about each other? Did you just around town heard each other? You're both from like the LA area.
LA area, yeah. Well, we met through a mutual friend of ours named Lisa Lynn, who's a wonderful Celtic harpist. She's just been signed to Wyndham Hill, and she plays just beautifully.
Wow.
So we each knew Lisa.
I think she's the one New Age harpist who hasn't been on the show.
Who hasn't been on the show, right?
That's right.
You should try and get her. She's wonderful.
Right.
And so we met. Lisa gave a surprise birthday party for Mary. That's where we first met. And so we just, started playing together, really enjoy each other's playing, each other's style, what we bring to each other's music very much. So.
And do you find you have more of an experience like in the collaborative process or is it a different experience?
It's different. You mean rather than playing music by
solo,
yourself?
Yeah.
It's different. They're both wonderful. I do a lot of work at home alone, like the mad scientist in my studio, composing a lot, and that's wonderful too. But playing with other musicians, you bring new ideas to each other.
I've been feeling like this is a particular time when cooperation and working together without ego, God forbid, if that could even think, is a time really for that, because we just need to come together. I mean, I've been feeling that so strongly. I probably said it 14 times already in this show, but it's really been a strong pull for, like to put this show together and to, as the thread of it. I mean, that's why when you guys told me you wanted to play together, I thought that's really neat.
Yeah.
Because we have had people on, alone, but, to see you play together is really great.
Yeah.
So do you have any concerts planned, or do either of you teach and do workshops or anything like that?
Yeah, we both do lots of different kinds of things. We both have students and freelance, play lots of different kinds of
You've
events.
been on movie albums, right?
Movie
soundtrack.
soundtracks, and also occasionally on screen in movies and TV, which is fun too. Playing the part of a harpist, which is a stretch as an actress.
You really have to
But that's
go
really,
so.
it's fun to do that every once in a while and see behind the scenes how movies and TV shows are made.
Right. How does this one compare? It gets set up a lot faster.
Yeah, it does.
I mean, as I probably said before, the way this studio is set up and everything, there's a showing before us. So we end up setting up in about 45 minutes, so it's really a trip to see the whole thing go up and all the audio checks and everything, the sound checks, I guess they call it.
Yep, keeps it moving along.
Yeah,
it's
it really
exciting.
is high energy. So are you guys going to tour together or play around LA together?
Probably. We don't have any immediate plans. We don't have any immediate concerts booked, but we're planning to do that eventually, probably when each of us finishes our new CDs. Then we'll put some performances together.
Yeah, we want to promote it and do some things together. I've mostly been doing Irish music around Los Angeles and playing in clubs and doing things like that, and doing a lot of work with Irish music. So just try to incorporate that in my music, as well as classical and New Age, and so. I come from a background that has a lot of different styles, and so does Stephanie, so we kind of meld really well together that
We
way.
both studied classical and Irish and a little jazz and so forth. I love putting all that together
Yeah, I
in
know
my
it's
own
an eclectic
compositions.
kind of time. I find that a lot of people are just, just exploring. There's like no definition for us anymore. Just where do you get moved?
Yeah, and even my next CD that I'm working on now is even going to be different. I'm doing a lot of children's songs and storytelling. It's not just for children, because I am planning to do that Thoreau essay that we did today, but very nature themed, and I'm writing the lyrics and doing the singing myself, and that's a whole new thing for me.
And you also get inspired by like dolphins and whales.
Oh, absolutely.
You do a lot of diving.
I scuba dive, yeah. I love to scuba dive. And you probably noticed on the cover of my second CD, Imaginocean, I took those photos underwater in Maui.
Yeah, and you took a harp underwater.
I sure did.
So that is now
the little harp gave its life for the photo session, I regret to say.
Yeah, I think we've seen that. I don't know if we've seen it yet,
I think
they did show it. Yeah, I mean, it's a beautiful album cover. I like it. And the other one, you were with a tiger, right, or a lion?
It's a lion, an American mountain lion, and in what looks like a forest. It was actually my backyard.
No kidding, is that your?
Yeah.
Is it your backyard set with flowers like we set them? It is.
Yeah. We brought in some of the flowers.
Right.
We brought in the big rock and a live mountain lion, and because as I mentioned, I love animals very much. So.
Yeah, I love being with animals too. Actually, there's a thing in my house that, for some reason, birds seem to do nests in windows in my house.
Oh,
I leave those windows that come open like this. I leave it open about that distance, and in about 4 of the windows of the house, there are nests with little eggs and in different stages. Yeah, it's great. So you hear all these incredible sounds. Do you know? It's interesting that I don't know what you call them, mother birds or something, don't lay them all the eggs at once. They lay them over like a 3 or 4 day period.
I didn't know that.
No, I didn't know that either, but every day I walk in there and there's another egg.
And then they hatch one by one?
Well,
so.
yeah, and they hatch over time. Sometimes they hatch,
interesting.
yeah, I don't think they hatch exactly in the same order. You know, some come out sooner than the others, but it's so exciting for me to have these in my house and hear the sounds.
You feel like the grandfather or something. Yeah. Congratulations.
Actually, it's really a very interesting story because this really hasn't happened to me much, but in one of the rooms in the house, the window was shut because it was during the winter and we had shut it. So all of a sudden I hear this birds singing out and back, and I go, they're talking to me. And they want me to open the window and they want to put their nest in there in that particular room. So I open the window and the next day, I swear to you, little pieces of trees start going in there. Yeah, it was really an incredible thing. So I'm starting to talk to the birds.
That's a good thing.
Right. Yeah, it is a great thing. I really like that. So yeah, so do you ever take your instruments out into the woods and like let that happen and see how that inspires you and all?
Well, my instrument is kind of so unwieldy.
Do you have a smaller one? Because
I do.
Do you take that out more and all?
I haven't recently, except at my house, because I do have the beautiful yard that's like a park, and I do take the harp out in the backyard and sit among the trees when it's nice and cool and shady in the afternoon and practice out there.
Yeah, I know, it's really inspiring to feel that kind of energy.
I even have the inside of my house painted so it looks like outside. I have murals on most of the walls that look like the sky and a tree. So, because I like to feel that I'm outside, even when I'm inside.
Yeah.
It's fun to play outside. I mean, there's this incredible energy when you play outside. And, it's great. I used to practice outside when I was a teenager more and more. Not so much now, but it is a great thing.
When you do that outside, do you notice that birds or animals come around? I mean, is there a vibration that goes out that is harmonious, that brings?
I don't know. I think there's a nature thing going on. I'm not sure if specifically animals come, but I feel something. I feel like
because there's a certain place at my house. It's like up on a hill, on a big rock that I actually just found recently, and I go up there sometimes and sit and meditate. And almost as soon as I do that, deer start walking by, and I can see where they walk by from when I'm inside the house because it's where my desk is, and I look out the window. And they don't come by that often, but when I go up to sit on that rock and meditate, it seems like, they're just drawn to it. So I was curious if, because your instruments are so beautiful that way, if you get that same experience.
I haven't played out in the woods with my harp often enough to notice, but when I do go and play in other people's homes, very often their cat or dog comes
just
over and sits right next to me, and the people look like they're amazed. Oh, look, the cat enjoys the music. I say, well, of course.
What do you think?
What do you expect? Yeah, my cats like it, so.
It's true.
So you both have new albums coming out. You're both working on new CDs. I guess they're not called albums. It's like from the 1800s.
Well, I think there's still an album because an album means a collection of many things, like a photo album is you put a lot of
But not.
I still call them albums. Yeah.
So do I.
Right.
Or a record because it's recorded, so you can still call it a record. I think. Record CD. Yeah, we're both working on new ones.
So have you ever tried to put together more people? I mean, how about plugging in? For some reason, I see you plugging in. Did you ever?
All the time. That's what I mostly do.
Really? For some reason, that was
electric violin.
Yeah, electric violin.
That's my thing. The only reason why it's my thing is because if you want to play with a group and indoors or outdoors, you have to be amplified because the violin is not the loudest instrument. Actually, it's pretty loud when you're indoors and it's a small room, but acoustically it's beautiful to play. But the electric violin it just makes it louder and more beautiful. I don't really experiment with effects too much. I like the pure sound.
So you do play with a lot of different bands and a lot of different styles.
I have, yeah. I have in the past.
Do you like that?
Yeah, I love it. I love
So is it just fun to like jam? I mean,
absolutely.
Just get together.
Yeah, I was raised playing, the page, the classical music, and I love that.
Getting off the page.
But when I learned to develop the part of my brain where you're just going to listen and you're going to play and whatever, I mean that's a tremendous. I mean that to me is a total musician.
Yeah.
Right.
It's not just someone that reads music. It's just someone that can play with anyone.
It's all together.
Oh
right?
it's great.
Just letting that energy and all the other energies move together.
Yeah,
I love that. That's why so much I like working on the show because I mean, have you seen there were like 20 people just like beehiving around and just putting it together, and there's something really neat about that effect. It's also neat to be alone in your room creating, but to come out and let that happen. So Maybe what we'll do now is show the other clip that goes to all the other cities it's at, and you'll see why. You'll see in the middle section, you'll see there's different text in there. It's basically the same graphics. But we'll show that, and then when we come back, Mary and Stephanie are going to play some more for us. So whenever we're ready, just run the tape, and then we'll have some more music. So I hope you're enjoying it. Hi everybody, it's me again, I'm back. So yeah, let me remind you at this point, if there is anybody wants any information about Mary or Stephanie, where they're playing, if you want lessons, if you want information about the CDs that they already have that are coming out, you can call me. It's Alan at 805-687-2053. I'll give you any of the information you need, and call anytime if you have any questions about anything. Even if you have, people you think would be wonderful guests on the show, although most of these 13 shows are already booked, we're always interested. We're always want to talk to you. I mean, because this show really is for you. So Mary, Stephanie, whenever you're ready, take her away. Hi everybody. I want to thank Stephanie and Mary for coming. I want to thank you for coming. And try to remember, let's be together, let's work together. You are love. It's here, it's now. God bless you. Next week there's going to be an incredible show. Good night.